So my first ride along was with Cornelius PD. It was probably in his mind one of the most boring days that he's ever been on. And I had so much fun. Like, this is what I want to do. I remember pulling over somebody who was driving erratic once. And I pulled him over. It's late, 7 or 8 o'clock. All the businesses are closed. And she's like, I'm just looking for a vet because we got to go put this dog down. I was like, I'll be right back. And went and found 2 or 3 businesses on my computer. I was like, hey, you can go to any one of these. Not everybody can flip that humanitarian switch and just go, I'm a human being at this point. When I first got on the team, a lot of the guys would refer to each other as brother. And I didn't understand it because I had 2 brothers. And by the time I left, they were brothers. And then the next thing I remember was waking up on the ground, face down. And I remember thinking, I don't know if anybody knows where I'm at. I'm hurting. I don't remember the pain, but I was thinking, this is unbearable. And if I lift my head, I'm probably going to get shot again. And I don't remember that, like right now looking back, I still don't remember being shot. But I remember thinking, if I lift my head, I'm going to get shot again. So they had this giant scar that's from here down to here. They opened that up, cut all the rotten meat out, repaired the carotid jugular, and stitched it back up. It's a miracle. She'd been praying the whole way up there, and she stepped out. It was just image of strength and calmness, and walked. Like the crowd divided, and she just brought peace with her. I went in the hospital and saw me and prayed for me, and they took me off to surgery. And the first one was my daughter's. And TNT and SWAT community lined up in the hallway, and each of them handed her a flower as she walked down the hallway. And I watched the video of that later, and it's like, I couldn't be there. And even when I wasn't there, couldn't be there, they stood in my place and did the thing better than I would have done. So that was huge. So
it's a brotherhood.
Yeah. To go back to that is the brotherhood that is the SWAT community. So.
You want to know if you look good? I think you look wonderful.
All right, thank you, sir.
I do kind of miss the buzz cut with the widow's peak.
It'll be back.
And the pork chops.
That was a glorious beard.
In fact, Spano told me today, I was talking to him and I was telling him, he knew we were doing this, but he saw you when you had the pork chops at some place, and he's like, those were awesome. Yeah. Badass pork chops.
Yeah.
So those were money.
Yeah, so we were allowed to grow our sideburns down to the bottom of your earlobe, flat to the ground. Yeah. So if I stood with my head back ever so slightly, that was flat to the ground, and I just grew them straight out to the mustache, because the mustache could only come out to the corner of your mouth, but it doesn't say where your sideburns went. Right. So I just grew them.
And I don't remember what it was a movie. There was someone that had them. Oh, it was Lonesome Dove, and Tommy Lee Jones had that exact same setup you had.
It was glorious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was it Lonesome Dove?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can fact check me later, but I'm pretty sure.
I just know that people were upset after I got shot that they were like, they didn't shave his beard, did they? They were more concerned about that.
Yeah. Well, you gotta have your looks.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, this week we're welcome into Frontline Outfitting podcast. I've got my friend Jeremy Braun here. Worked together at Washington County, and he's got a great story that we're going to talk about today, and just some other things in his book he's written, and just talk about some stuff that is probably super important to you, and I think that's a lot of listeners can resonate with that, with your experience and what you've gone through in your life and where you're at today. So thanks for coming over. I know it was kind of a haul. I know you're up here for something else with your mom, but to drive to Central Oregon today, we appreciate it. And
Central Oregon's beautiful.
Yeah. It's good, huh?
My pleasure.
Yeah. Have you ever been to Pal Butte?
I never even heard of it.
Oh.
So.
Well, you won't be able to say that tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, I can't say it today.
That's true. Okay. That'll be good.
Yeah. It's a beautiful area.
It is. It's really nice. Yeah. If you're out front here and you walk away and you drive away, just take a look at those mountains. It's kind of cool when like October hits and they get a little snow on them. It's just glorious view.
I miss the mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every day driving into district, look, Mountain Hood was right at the end of the TV highway. And just, I think Oregon's the most beautiful state of the union. So
No,
I miss it.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be where I'm at, but I miss Oregon.
Well, I'm glad you're here today because that's important. So I like to just give people kind of a little intro of like where you started, where did you grow up, and where'd you go to school and things like that.
All right. I was born in Seattle, and then when we moved to Beaverton the following year, and then progressively moved west from there. Sorry, I don't know if progressively is. We were not progressive. We moved from Beaverton to Cornelius to Banks, and I went to Banks High School. Wow. Graduated from Banks High School, rested for 2 years at Clackamas Community College, and then wrestled 1 year up in a school in Canada called Simon Fraser University.
Greatest pipe band in the world, baby.
Yeah. And it's Fraser, not Frazier. Mm-hmm. And then finally graduated from Portland State University, and my first ride along with a police officer was as a high school, like a job shadow. I was like, oh.
At Portland State?
No, I was in high school at the time.
Oh, you were in high school?
Yeah.
What agency was it with?
So my first ride along was with Cornelius PD.
Oh.
Big guy, Officer Han. I was like, it was probably in his mind one of the most boring days that he's ever been on. And I had so much fun. I'm like, this is what I want to do.
That's awesome.
And then I rode along with OSP, sheriff. He eventually became the sheriff of Columbia County. I'll remember his name, but he was an OSP trooper. Mm-hmm. And then he became the sheriff of Columbia County, and then just cemented everything. And I did a ride along with Washington County. So
I'm going to back up for a second. Did Portland State have wrestling back then?
They when I was in high school, they had a wrestling camp. I think the years that I went there, I don't know that they had a wrestling program, but I was done wrestling. Yeah, I'd had one knee surgery, and I knew that I wanted a body that was intact so that I could get into law enforcement. Yeah. And my goal was like wrestling's fun. Yeah, my goal is law enforcement. Yeah, so protect the body.
What was the last weight you wrestled at SFU?
190 pounds.
Yeah,
so 190 pounds all 3 years. Yeah. So I'm not 190 pounds anymore.
Wow. That was my problem in high school. Yeah. They didn't have that 220. Did they have 220? They didn't have 220 yet when you were, how old are you?
I'm 49.
Okay. So when we were in high school, they didn't have they had 191 or 190, and then it went straight to heavyweight. They hadn't put that 220 with it, or 225 or 220 in yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and the 220 was, the heavyweight was just capped at 275. Yeah. So as long as you were under 275, you were in one weight class from 191 all the way to 275.
I remember when my older brothers were in high school, it was unlimited. They had some hogs in there. So I played football with a buddy in high school, and he had to cut weight to make heavyweight when they had that. So at 275, but
he's like, man, I got to skip meals.
Yeah. Okay. So how did you end up picking Washington County then?
I grew up in Washington County. So I grew up in Cornelius and then Banks and Beaverton. And then I was putting applications in with Beaverton and Hillsborough and Washington County. And I'd pretty much settled on those three. I had applied with Portland through their cadet program years ago prior to college. But Washington County at that time probably had one of the most solid reputations. But I'd applied in total with Tigard as a reserve or explorer. But ultimately it pared down to those three. And I was kind of sold on the sheriff's office. Yeah. For a lot of reasons, but sure. Any one of those agencies would have been fine. And
what year did you start?
I was hired in 2003.
Okay.
Completed the academy in December 2003.
Okay.
So,
had it moved to Salem yet, or was it still in Monmouth?
It was still in Monmouth.
Yeah.
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 Go ahead over to the next town over.
Yeah, Independence to the Lenora's Ghost.
Lenora's Ghost. I was always the designated driver. Freshly married. I think I was married for 3 months when I started the academy.
Yeah.
So I was like, I just want to stay sober, and I'll be the designated driver.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want to be one of the officer A.
Yeah, I know. But you can fit like 6 to 8 officers inside of a little Nissan Altima.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
It's a good car.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. What did you, do you remember who your coaches were?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So my very first coach was, he's now detective, Tim Miller. Mm-hmm. And he was very patient, knew that I was a window licker, didn't know which way forward on my hat, taught me DUIs, had my first DUI with him. I arrested my first DUI with him. My second coach was Joost Esplin. No, my second coach was Shertude.
Oh, yeah.
And he was on
Pat.
Pat Shertude.
Yep.
And he was on TNT. And then my third coach was Joost Esplin. And Joost Esplin, like we'd be driving down the road and he's like, oh, that right there is Ron Smith. And he was born in 1969. And I think he's suspended. Oh yeah, he's suspended. We'll just sit here and I'm like, dude, I can't even remember what I had for breakfast. And
Photographic memory.
Yeah.
I hate those people.
But he would kick over rocks. He knew where all the grubs were hiding.
Yeah.
And he would work, like, shift starts at 8, and he was out the door trying to make an arrest at 8.
Yeah.
And it came time to, like, shift was over at, say, 6, and 5:59, he was still pulling over cars.
Yeah.
So he taught me that. Shertude was kind of it was a great progression. So then Yost was like, let's go.
Yeah.
See if we can get a vehicle pursuit.
Well, you were a go-getter, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know you love those stats.
Oh, yeah.
And
the stats, it wasn't even about the stats. It was like, I got paid to do the job that I loved for 10 hours. And I could get 10 hours of work out of a 10-hour shift.
Yeah.
And if 10 became 12, not my problem.
Yeah.
So I live in a different county. It's somebody else's money.
That's true. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Did, so when, how long so you got out on your own, and then, where was the first district you worked?
First district was, I think, day shift, West End.
Oh.
And that was for a month or two. I know that I got done with that shift. When I was on checkout, I touched some stuff that I shouldn't have. So I just wore protective gloves from Home Depot all summer, and I had white hands, tan forearms. I just remember that. I'm like, that was the summer that I wore gloves all summer long during day shift.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. Wow. And then I went to Aloha and eventually worked my way back out to the West End.
Yeah.
And Sergeant Ray got tired of he's like, okay, I keep having to drive out here to talk to these people that you're ticking off. You need to move into Aloha. All right.
It's probably better fit for you.
Yeah. I love the West End, though.
It's kind of like, it's like policing out here. It's very community policing based in Deschutes County.
It is, but I enjoyed the challenge. Like I would do a DOI arrest by myself.
Yeah.
Like you drive by a Hillsborough stop and there was like 3 or 4 cars at that time stacked up doing one DOI investigation. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like I can do those things by myself.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It probably crunched some lines on the promises I made people, but yeah. Like if you get sideways on this, we're going to both end up at the hospital, but
right.
As soon as you're out, we're going to go to jail.
Yeah.
Or you can cooperate and we'll just get through this.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. You have a gift of gab.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. How long did you work before you promoted to corporal?
14 years.
Oh, wow.
12 or 14 years. So.
Oh, okay. What year did you promote then? Maybe you weren't a corporal yet. Then maybe when I started then. Okay.
No, I got on
because I started in 07.
I got on TNT which TNT's our interagency SWAT team. I got on TNT in 2011, and then I was on TNT when I got on the gang team, and then I was on the gang team.
God, I forgot you did that too.
When I made corporal, and I'd been on the gang team for 3 or 4 years when I made corporal. So
okay,
it had been a while. So stack all that up, and 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, probably 14 years.
Oh, wow.
So
did you like Hagg yet?
When I first got on, the now chief of Beaverton PD was Officer Stacy. Well, she was at that time, Sergeant Stacy Jepson with Hillsborough.
Yep.
Great leader. And then after her was Mike Leader, also with Hillsborough. And they were both great to work with.
Yeah.
The next one was not great to work with. So he who shall remain nameless.
Yeah, it's totally fine.
Yeah.
You never did TriMet though.
No, I never did TriMet.
Yeah.
Those are the 3. I was an EVOC instructor, field SFST instructor, and I was a FTO, and the other assignments were IGET and TNT.
When did you start being FTO?
FTO was the second gig, so I got EVOC probably 3rd or 4th year, and then FTO 5th or 6th year. Did
you do any shuffle steering on the way over?
No.
I'm just curious.
I still look at my cornering lines, and I still do shuffle steering.
Outside, inside.
Yeah. And I find myself riding down the road with like all dirty, and I'm like, oh, hands, hands,
yeah. Fix that.
Dangerous.
Don't take a hand in the face with that airbag.
Well, you just so you know, you can move the steering wheel faster up here. You don't want to move the wheel fast. You want to be nice and smooth inputs.
Yes. Oh, input. I love that. I love it. EVOC all instructor. I love the terminology. It's all, everybody has their niche, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Input.
What other specialty assignment could you do? Walking around smoking a cigar, kicking over an orange cone.
It's true.
And I would walk around smoking cigars on the track because the track wasn't on county property. And you just ran over one of my orange cones.
And then you got to get out and stand up. If you get punished, you got to go over to the wheel of torture.
Yeah.
And shuffle steel while it's not your turn.
And the skid car was awesome.
Yeah.
Spinning those students around.
Yeah.
So
no, I think that's an amazing invention.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
They offer that to county employees here. It's pretty cool. Did Washington County do that? If you were a county employee, like downtown working somewhere legal, could you do it?
No, I think they should.
Yeah. They offer that here. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It'd be really cool if like your family members could do it. I'd love my daughter to do it right now.
Honestly, the best way to teach that is to have your daughter drive up and down gravel roads.
True.
I mean, not at 80 miles an hour, but the skids car is not at 80 miles an hour. You just get comfortable with the front end pushing a little bit and the back end sliding out. And
we do it in the parking lot out here with snow too. It's wonderful.
You grow up driving in the snow
or
messing around on gravel, you probably have a better skill than half the people that grew up driving on nothing but asphalt.
Yeah.
So it
just reminds me of a story. I was with Jason Yaslino when I was on FTEP and we were out on the West End one day shift. And I remember him saying like, we either have to go fast on these washboards or you got to go really slow.
Yeah.
That the halfway is not going to cut it.
Worst.
This Crown Vic, you're like,
it's like a trot.
Yeah.
Like there's a rhythm. You got to get the rhythm down.
Yeah. Just remind me of that.
Yeah.
Okay. So you were a really good FTO. I know I didn't spend any phases with you, but I spent a couple of days with you, but I learned a lot and you were awesome.
I had fun. It was one of the most fun assignments that you can have.
Yeah. Well, and I think it takes there's just so much you can learn from somebody. Cause I think you have such a vast, in my opinion, just like you're no nonsense, but you also had just a really gracious period of, learning. Cause if you're not going to learn, it doesn't do any good to just force stuff people down's neck. You want to pressure people, but I don't know. I just thought that your style was really awesome. And that, a lot of people just don't have that. We make them FTOs, but you just get kind of some one way. And
the trick was there was a guy who would rescue dogs and teach them all these amazing tricks. He's like, if they're interested in the ball, so he'd go into the pound and squeak the ball, and the dogs that were following the ball, those are the dogs that he would select. Didn't matter what breed they were. He's like, those are the dogs that have a strong play drive. And law enforcement is really just a big game.
Yeah.
Let's have fun. Let's enforce the laws, but let's have fun doing that and see, it's not about stats. We keep track of those things, but if like I can go sleep in the back parking lot and not get any stats. So you want me to work, that's going to produce stats, not necessarily arrests, not necessarily.
Sure.
But you should be talking to people.
Yep.
There was a period of time where I was like, I'm just going to get out and talk to people. I'd park my car and walk over the street, and some guy's sitting in his garage working on his motorcycle. I know he was probably weirded out, but I want to have fun.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be a laborious, like there's clearly calls that just stink to be involved in, but overall the job should be fun. And if you can have those people and coaches that are just having fun within the boundaries of the law.
No, it makes the learning environment completely different. Because that was for me, like when I went to the road, I was like, okay, I got put with people that were like that had been instructors and stuff. And they didn't give me it was now a learning environment versus, okay, we're not going to do the willy nilly. I mean, we know you're a DT instructor and you're a firearms instructor, so we're not going to play games with that. Right. So it just changed. So just for me personally, that was a huge thing. But anyway, I just want to make sure you ever heard me say that I thought that you were awesome. And
thank you.
And I know there's a lot of people that had you that appreciate you, that you coached, that made a difference, and then they're great cops.
Thank you.
Yeah.
There's a few that are no longer cops.
Well, I mean,
because they had me.
Hey, that's stats. That's statistics. It is what it is.
Yeah. but I saved their lives because they
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Not everybody should be a police officer.
No.
Yeah.
No. Okay. What was of all your special assignments, what was your favorite?
Honestly, my favorite assignment was patrol. Like, I love TNT.
Yeah.
I love the Yang team. I love teaching people. When it came down to it, don't take patrol from me.
Yeah.
I just want to be out in the community.
Yeah.
There's might be 5, probably hundreds, but there's at least 5 calls where I'm like, I made a difference because it was me handling that call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your most memorable? What sticks out to you? Somebody that, like, if you can just think back of something that you did that, because there's things that, you have in your career that you're like, man, that was awesome today. And it might have been minor. Could have been talking to somebody,
There was one child abuse investigation that I solved.
Mm-hmm.
We don't do child abuse investigations. You kind of crack the can, make sure there was one of those. I can go into those details if you want. I remember pulling over somebody who was driving erratic once, and I pulled him over. It's late, 7 or 8 o'clock. All the businesses are closed, and this she's like frantic, and her husband, or Boo, is in the back seat holding this old dog, and he's crying, and it was his childhood dog. And she's like, I'm just looking for a vet because we got to go put this dog down. Mm-hmm. And I think we know those people that, well, you were driving bad, so I'll be right back with you and get your license rate. And I was like, I'll be right back, and went and found 2 or 3 businesses on my computer. I was like, hey, you can go to any one of these, call ahead, and they'll be there to greet you. But not everybody can flip that humanitarian switch and just go, I'm a human being at this point. I am a police officer, but at this moment, you just need another human to talk to.
Heck yeah.
So the child abuse one.
Yeah, tell me about it.
There's a specific sequence, and you're not trying to get a full disclosure. You're just trying to crack the can and I know what's inside that can, and pass it off to the detectives. Yep. And this girl would not. She's like, I don't want to talk about it. She disclosed to somebody at school. School called me, pull her into the school. So it's the teacher, her, and me in this room. And she's like, I don't want to talk about it. I'm like, all right. Well, you told your friend about it. Yeah. And this is not how you're, not by the book that you're supposed to do. Like, well, you told your friend about it. Yeah. So if your friend comes in and tells me about it while you're sitting here, can you nod your head about whether it's true or not? And her friend came in and she told me what she had told her. And she looked at me and said, yeah, that's all true. And it turns out the mom was involved with prostituting this 14-year-old to her mom's boyfriend. And they were only doing that because the 16-year-old gotten too old. So I got to help arrest those people when the investigation was done. And well, they went to prison, and good things I'm sure will happen to them while they're in there. Yeah. So, I know that I made a difference in those kids' lives. And because I was able to think outside the box, I was able to crack that can open. And
we'll just dig in a little bit too, or, paying attention. And, and you're not, like you said, you're not going outside of, you're just keeping free the mayonnaise and the mustard in an investigation, right? But but you just got to be, a thinker. Yeah. Like, how else can I get this answer? Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. So you started TNT in 2011. Okay. And, walk me through how that was for you starting with that.
So I'd actually applied with TNT several times. So the first year I tried out, a guy named JC and I both tested. He passed it, and they accepted him. They didn't accept me. Actually, there was a couple of people before that, a couple times before that, but I remember him getting on. I was like, well, he's a solid guy. Yeah. Turns out it was a good thing that he was on the team. And then I eventually got on. You had to run a mile and a half, push-ups, sit-ups, do an O course, and then pass a interview panel. And I went through all that, and they accepted me. And then you start, and once you get on, you're on probation. When I was on, from rallied to rallied, which is September. So if you get on in August, then your probation starts immediately, but then you're on probation until the following year, September. Right. And if you get on in November, you're on probation from September to September. Yeah. So you could have like a 20-month probation.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay.
So I got on in 2011, and then eventually, once you get on to TNT, there's a few tracks that you can go on, but the main tracks are the entry team. Everybody's got to be good at entry because eventually even the snipers will be doing entry. But if you're not the front five, you kind of go down these other tracks, which are breacher or sniper. And I went down the breacher track.
Yeah.
So
did you go to breaching school? I mean, I'm sure I know you.
yeah.
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 And you'll have to refresh my memory. How much explosive breaching had you done?
Not enough.
I take it you like it.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Throw a strip on a door.
It's not just that. It's when I was a kid, back when you could, my parents left me in the car and went inside the store. When they came back out, the whole inside of the car door, the panel was taken off. I'd probably worried some screw loose and then use that screw as a screw head to undo all the rest of the screws. So I've always enjoyed taking things apart and disassembling things. Yeah. And breaching is really, if you look at the problem, how do I disassemble this door, wall, window so that I can get my guys inside the problem?
Right. The first time.
Yeah. And if it doesn't work the first time, have a backup so that, because there's backup contingency plans. So when there's failures, these are the failures that you're probably going to have, and then have contingencies to overcome those failures. Yeah. So, yeah.
No, and there's some science with it too, with the,
Yeah. There's lots of science because you got to know, like when I popped this door, we were awesome. We'd reached the point with steel foam filled doors, energetic breaching, that the door would slide about 6 inches into the room and then just fall over.
Wow.
I mean, it's not like the doors going to the room,
right?
Cartwheeling, which is bad. You're literally like, if I hit it with a key or a ram, there's more energy being delivered inside the room than that door sliding 6 inches in and just falling over. Yeah. I mean, that's like, other than the one guy, we almost hit a guy. He was sleeping in the living room, head, and the door came down. That would have been probably the worst injury possible. Yeah. But if you were standing a foot inside that door, you could literally catch the door and then push it back in place. Yeah. There's that little energy being delivered. Yeah. So, yeah. And then there was also shotgun breaching and chainsaws and just break stuff.
Yeah. When I did my stint in the fire service, I enjoyed working on the truck because a lot of that's vertical ventilation and breaching and K-12s and Halligans on doors and all that good stuff. But and it is, and it's fun to get your irons out. Yeah. And it's interesting because it is being mechanical, like you said, like taking the door, your parents' car door apart. Yeah. If you don't understand how things work, then that job is very difficult.
Yeah. Well, and to go back to my youth, I'm not good at putting things back together, but by golly, I can take them apart
and break them. Yeah. You'd probably be a really bad inmate. Picking screws.
Maybe. Hey, look at that.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. So, what was your favorite part about TNT? Like, how about the team? So talk about the team, what that meant to you.
When I first got on the team, a lot of the guys would refer to each other as brother. And I didn't understand it because I had two brothers. And by the time I left, they were brothers. There's something special about working with somebody. And you spend a lot of time working with these guys, sweating. In my case, I think I've got shot with sim rounds or copper jacket 5 times in all. I watched somebody get knocked out with a flashbang that we used as a dummy. Somebody pitched it and wasn't looking where they threw it, and he was filming and caught him right in the face, and it was bad. So, people bleed, and we just work together, and there was just this innate trust. And it was an interagency team, so it's the best tacticians throughout the county, best tacticians that we could find. Yep. And they were all wanted to be there, and they were all wanting to do, like, you get on patrol and not everybody wants to be there. Yep. Get in the jail and not everybody wants to be there. Yep. TNT, everybody wants to be there. Yep. If you don't want to be there, you can leave.
Right.
So.
And they separate themselves pretty quickly that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, just interagency team. So when I first got on, there was one guy from Forest Grove. He eventually came off. his agency's decision. A guy from Tualatin, he was still on when I was on. Guy from Sherwood. And then Beaverton, Hillsborough, Washington County had the major contributions. And then there was one I've got on, 2 guys from Tigard. So
yeah,
pretty much every agency was at one point or another represented.
What year, just side note, what year did Gil stop overseeing TNT? Do you remember?
So, what do you mean? As a team commander?
Yeah, I'm trying to think when he was not the commander anymore. Is it, has it been since you left, or was he, before?
So Schweigert took over in 2019. And I think Shaver was right before that.
That's right.
And Shaver was probably there for 3 to 4 years. So 2016, 2015.
Okay. Yeah.
I remember it was after I became an explosive breacher. There was an event where we educated him about, because he was a sniper, knew his stuff inside and out with regard to sniping. He didn't know as much about energetic breaching.
Yeah.
So we took that opportunity and showed him what we could do. And his understanding of, everybody has this image of energetic breaching as like a high, like a mushroom cloud and doors spinning and shrapnel everywhere.
John Rambo coming through the door of that M60.
And then when you educate people and they're like, oh, that's nothing. And then when that door comes open, you're not standing there.
Yeah.
Well, you have options.
Yeah. My friends are coming in.
We don't have to come in.
Yeah.
Like we had that call in particular, it was a guy that had, I think he was in Tigard, had menaced some people with a knife. Well, if he's barricaded his house and we have to make an arrest, there's a couple options. One is we key the door, but when that door comes open, we're standing there.
Yep.
And if he's inside with a knife, we don't have many options.
Right.
But if we put in a charge in that door and we go back to our car and we pop the door from out of the car, we got lots of options.
Yep.
Lots of time.
Yeah.
He wants to come into outside the house with the knife now. We still have options.
So you didn't have any, it wasn't like an HRT. It wasn't anybody inside with him.
Yeah.
Like our feller that we had over near Sunset. Remember that?
No.
We had the 2 kids inside. We did
pop the door and I've had a couple of those. So
I was just telling somebody the other day, I think I was telling my wife or who I was talking to, but I remember I was looking eyes on the shield and your barrel was right here by my ear. And I think McCullough or somebody else had their rifle right here. And I'm like, God, this goes off. Right before we went in, I was like, this is going to be horrible.
Yeah.
I had no ear pro, nothing. It was, but, okay. So, how long were you on TNT before 2019, August 2019?
I'd gotten on probably August of 2011.
Okay, so that's right. All right, so about 8 years.
Yeah.
So can you tell me about can you walk people through that story of the Hagg Lake incident and how that started and dive into that?
All right. So that day, the weather, which is important, comes in factor later, was this beautiful sunny August day. 5:30, it's pre-daylight saving time, so it's still bright and sunny outside.
Yeah.
The weather hadn't shifted in. There was a rainstorm that shifted in later, and I was in a low at a fire talking with temporary sergeant, and I was reminded of that later. He's like, do you remember we're having this conversation at a low fire? I'm like, oh, yeah. Because that kind of cements, I had forgotten. So now I know the route that I took to get to Hagg Lake. As we're sitting talking,
So for you was you were on duty SWAT call basically, or on duty TNT. How you just headed there?
Well, so for the uninitiated, our agency has a couple of different responses. There's the on duty, which is, hey, if you're the lone on duty, or there was one where the whole team was on duty because it was a training Wednesday. Whoever's on duty goes to the call.
Yep.
And those can become just handled by that guy and a couple patrol, or those guys in a couple patrol. Or you can have a full call out where you're like, hey, this is a big deal, and you push the button and the whole team comes.
Yeah.
And then you can have a pre-planned warrant, and the pre-planned warrant is usually full team, but sometimes it could be partial team, and and you just brief before, and it's a pre-planned mission.
Yep.
So I was on duty and talking to the sergeant, sitting at a low fire, and kind of picking his ear about what it was like to be a sergeant. And not that I was interested in being a sergeant, but I was like, it was logically the next step in my career.
Yep.
And we were starting to listen to this call that was coming in the West End. And I've talked to several people since then. And there was something about the call that was, everybody that was hearing it was like, there's something wrong with this call. Like, it's just wrong. So this lady had called in, and she was watching somebody steal guns from a cabinet, which was outside of her house. And she didn't have any guns inside the house. So she's this stranger had walked up onto her property deep in the West End. Hagg Lake is pretty far in the West End. That's outside of Gaston. And she barricaded herself in her house and then locked herself in her bathroom. And I talked to the temporary sergeant, who always types in all caps, if you know who that is. And I was like, hey, I'm a corporal and I'm TNT. Do you want me to kind of head out there and make sure they don't do anything silly? He's like, yes, please. So I start driving out there, and the responding deputies were like, hey, there's this outside agency from the neighboring county to the south, I think Yamhill County. They have a canine here. We want to track this guy into the woods. I was like, don't track this guy in the woods. Like, you do not track people into the woods. It's just, you're asking for problems. So the guy had taken the weapons and last seen headed towards the woods. They had security cameras, so we had an image of the guy. So I get there, set up 2 or 3 cars, me and everybody else's patrol, and we drove up, rescued the woman and her son from the house, drove back. JC, who was the team leader, this is the first call out that he had ever had as a team leader. Wow. And that was Schweigert's first, Lieutenant Schweigert's first call as a lieutenant commander of the team. So JC had been training that day, so he came out and kind of oversaw everything. We came up with a quick plan. We were not going to track this guy in the woods because, again, that's a dumb idea. So what we'll do is we'll go up and we'll fingerprint the door. We'll take the bear up there, so a piece of armor, secure the house, lock it up, fingerprint the cabinet, see if we can figure out who this guy is, see what guns have been stolen, and then we'll leave. But we'll take the armor up there just in case, and a small contingent of on-duty TNT. So we were loaded up in the bear and drove up. And as you come on this property, you're at the like 150 to 200 yard long driveway at the bottom of a hill. So you're going up to the house the whole time. Yeah. So they have high ground on you. And as we drove up the driveway, I'm sitting in the driver's ear and I look, and the suspect is now back at the house, and it looks like he's trying to get in the door. So now he's trying to get into the house, that kind of changes things. Yep. So I turned around and yelled, hey, he's back at the house, and looked back up. And as we come up, the lights are on. So red and blue lights, so you can tell it's a police vehicle. The guy in the right front seat is CNU, hostage or crisis negotiation team. And they start doing loud hails in the PA. Hey, this is the Washington County Sheriff's Office. Turn yourself in. Hands up. Don't resist. All the announcements they do. And he turns around. He's got a gun in his hand, and he runs back into the woods. Well, it's in the country, but there's other houses in the area. From our understanding, there's a kids' summer camp that's over in that direction. It's August, so it could be summer camp is in session. Right. So we kind of round tabled it, secured the house, and we're like, this changes everything. Because if he goes off in the woods and goes into a house with a gun, now we could potentially have a hostage situation. Yep. I mean, he could go and hurt people or do untold things to people. We have a moral obligation to, no legal obligation, but we have a moral obligation to.
Yeah, the exigency just shot up.
Yep. So round tabled it. Everybody think this is a bad idea? Yeah. Everybody think that we should do it? Yeah. So even the discussion, we did it. And there's a way to track people in the woods. A, don't do it. B, if you're going to do it, and the guy's known to be armed, do it with a SWAT team if possible, and then take all of your resources with you. So brand new canine handler who's not on the SWAT team, Deputy Pelletieri, awesome guy. All these guys are awesome, by the way. So he's canine, brand new canine dog, Maze. That dog chew on everything. So Maze and Pelletieri, and then Deputy Iverson and our job was to protect Pelletieri's ear holes. So it was kind of weird. We would be this is unusual, but it's unusual for normal tracking. We'd be in front of the handler, but behind the canine, kind of protecting his front flanks. And then behind Pelletieri was Winfield, JC. JC was all in the back. He's the team leader. And Iverson, me, I'm spacing somebody. So we start tracking through the woods. And the goal is to do it in a wedge formation, but the woods of Western Washington, Western Oregon, it's not going to happen.
Right.
We'd go single file, wedge, single file, wedge, single file, and the wedge the other way. And we're constantly fighting for that position. So I remember we started the track and about 4:30 and tracked off into the woods, and there's some ATV trails that run downhill towards the lake. And Steve Nichols, Deputy Steve Nichols is now,
Stevie Nichols.
Yeah. So we're heading down the hill. I remember this trail that we're on kind of came together. It's like ATV size trails. They're not very wide. Came together and then came apart. And my recollection is we got to that, the canine's just kind of casting for scent. We came together at that trail and the dog circled for a little bit. And then we pulled down the left side of the trail. And I remember Pelletieri, this is my recollection, he might be different, said, if this doesn't pan out, we're coming back to the intersection. We're going to go down the other side of that trail. All right. So we go down, and it was a long track. It was hot. It's humid. We track all the way down inside the lake. There's a road that goes around the lake, and we inside that go down and scramble and pushing through brush. And probably at one point we're pursuing a deer. So we go back up, claw our way back up to the bear, and went back up to the house and started over. And we came back down to that same intersection, and we started pushing down the right side. And when you're tracking with a canine, you're not supposed to watch the canine. You're supposed to be watching the woods. But I always watch the canine because the canine's going to be the best indication.
I'll tell you a lot.
Yeah. So we take that next intersection and head down the other road, and the dog, which had been kind of pulling down the trail, takes a hard right turn, starts just barking his brains out and lunging, trying to dive through the brush. And I was like, and I turn around, and I'm sure I said something professional like, "Sir, this is the Washington County Sheriff's Office.
I'm sure you did.
Kindly show me your hands." A lot of people call threat. I think if I point my guns and scream, that's probably a pretty good indication. That. So let's get the commands over with. And then the next thing I remember was waking up on the ground, face down. And I remember thinking, this is pre-George Floyd. I don't know if anybody knows where I'm at. I'm hurting. I don't remember the pain, but I was thinking, this is unbearable. And if I lift my head, I'm probably going to get shot again. And I don't remember that, like right now looking back, I still don't remember being shot. But I remember thinking, if I lift my head, I'm going to get shot again. And I kind of calculated out in my mind, I'm like, that's a better option than just laying here. So I remember picking my head up and, again, pre-George Floyd, saying, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. And my training in wrestling was, if I'm talking, then I'm breathing.
Yep.
Hint, hint, George Floyd was talking. So if I'm talking, I'm breathing. But if I stop talking, then A, they know it's a problem. B, they know what my last complaint was. And C, they know that it's a really big problem now that I'm not talking. Yeah. So that was either that was my smart thinking, or that's the way I justified it in my brain. But next thing I remember is being on my back and looking up, and Kevin Winfield was kneeling over me, pointing his rifle off in the distance, and he's looking back at me. And Kevin Winfield's a stud. He was a Tualatin PD detective. Great guy. And the way I explain it is, if you take your car to the mechanic and the mechanic comes from the back hallway after looking at your car, you're kind of looking at him like, am I paying for your daughter's college experience? Or like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
And Kevin Winfield's tone and mannerism was calm, I was like, oh, that's not good. This is really not good. Whatever he's looking at does not make me happy because he's looking at me. And so what had happened, I won't get into what happened, but the next person I remember was Luke Kiefer. Luke Kiefer's with Tualatin Valley Fire and Rescue. He's on our SWAT team, more senior to me, but he's just a volunteer. So he's one of our medics on our team.
Yep.
Very capable operator, very capable medic. And he hadn't been on the call, but JC had hit the button and done a call out when we were starting to track. So he, unbeknownst to me, had been over at this summer camp when the shooting happened, had loaded back up in the armor and drove back over and come to where I was hurt. And I don't remember his face, but I remember the tone in his voice. I was like, oh, this is really not good. Like, he was calm, he's professional, but again, that mechanic and the like, he's not happy about what he's looking at. And basically what had happened is 15 to 20 yards away, I'd taken 1 to 2 shotgun blasts from a stolen 20 gauge pump shotgun. And the load, so basically I had addressed the bush like this when I said, sir, kindly show me your hands.
Yeah.
And probably what happened is he shot and was focused on the gun, and that load went up my arm and into my throat. And there was 3 shots. They think I was standing for the first 2. Iverson was standing slightly behind me, and he got 7 of the pellets, and I got the rest. As I sit here, there's 150 to 160 pellets still in my body, so who knows how many I actually stopped. But it was, so JC had stripped my vest off, had done some blood sweeps, and they didn't know what I'd been shot with at that point. So like hundreds of holes, thousands of holes in my neck, just started like oozing blood. And he's like, okay, so it's not a rifle, but it's a closed wound or an enclosed wound. How do you treat that? It's on the neck. There's a lot of movies, trust me, I've watched them, where the bad or the good guy gets shot in the neck, and you're like, that's a devastating injury. You can't tourniquet it, you can't wound pack it. Like, the neck is Charlie Kirk will tell you.
Yeah.
It's a bad place to be shot.
Yeah.
He had gotten my carotid and my jugular, but I was bleeding internally and bleeding externally. And they thought my lung was collapsed, and there's nothing we can do. And there's an active gun battle going on.
Right.
Bad guy still not accounted for. Luke Kiefer, stud, comes sliding in and starts treating me immediately. Taco wraps me up, darts my chest. So he shoved a huge needle in my chest and packaged me up. Earl Brown standing up, and we had something called the SCED, and I forget what that stands for, but it's basically a heavy gauge plastic taco.
Yep.
Think of a snow sled.
Yeah.
And you wrap the body or the human in that, and you can pull them out rather than trying to carry them.
Yeah.
Again, the gun battle's going on. JC and Luke and Iverson all of us head out of the woods, and Iverson's got a tourniquet on his arm. He's carrying his gun. Again, he's a stud. People are like, how come you're not helping? Dude, he's been shot. They're like, oh, okay. So start dragging me out of the woods, and I complain that I'm going to throw up a couple times, probably a massive amount of blood in my throat.
Yeah.
And they finally get me out. They get me to a shelf and kind of reached a point. It started raining at this point, so they're trying to get up this clay, muddy hill. JC ran out to the clearing, got some more bodies, dragged them back, because nobody knew. Everybody knew that there was a shooting, but nobody knew where in the woods we were.
Right.
So JC went out and found some bodies, brought them back. And they said it was, I think it was JC, he said, it was like your body just lifted up and you disappeared. It was like they had gassed themselves so much to get me to that point that they couldn't go any further, and that shelf was just defeating them. When they went and got fresh bodies, fresh legs, those guys and I was off.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you're not a small critter either.
No.
Plus with all your kit on, I mean, that's.
Well, no vest. Yeah, speaking of the rifle that you were said earlier, you're holding a shield, and I couldn't figure out, like 2 years ago, I was like, man, it's like my ears are ringing all the time. And I went back. I'm like, oh, they'd stripped all my kit off. So, and then they had a rifle fight directly over my head. I probably have some ear injuries from that gunfight. So, they life flighted they brought 2 life flights out. One was they decided Iverson could be ground transported. So they ground transported Iverson, loaded me up in the ambulance, and intubating me was not fun because it was just a hamburger inside my throat. Yeah. Got me loaded up in the ambulance or in the life flight, and Kiefer stripped his gear off and rode to the OHSU with me.
In the bird.
In the bird.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And that's just the start of the journey.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And how many, I know you said just a few minutes ago, but how many pellets you have left in you still, you figure?
Right now, 150 to 160.
Now, I remember there was a part of how much, what do you have in your bloodstream? As I remember, there was something about, isn't there pellets inside your bloodstream?
Yeah.
That are hanging out?
So when he shot me, 2 pellets went into my carotid and washed up in my brain with blood pressure. Mm-hmm. So I immediately had 2 strokes. And then 3 went into my jugular and washed down. 1 dropped off of my liver, 1 dropped off of my stomach, and 1 dropped off of my leg. And then some went through and through on both the carotid and the jugular. Mm-hmm. So they had this giant scar that's from here down to here. Mm-hmm. They opened that up, cut all the rotten meat out, repaired the carotid and jugular, and stitched it back up. Yeah. So, yeah. It's a miracle. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty traumatic injury.
Yeah.
So,
how about the aftermath of it?
I was in the hospital for a month. Mm-hmm. I just found out this week that one of the nurses I punched, I'm like, oh, that was nice of me. Oh, it's not me. I've only hit one woman from my recollection in the course of my career, and she's not it. I hit this lady in the face with a flashlight once. She deserved it. But to hit a nurse and I talked to Lieutenant Schweigert the other day, and he's like, yeah, but you were the day you were fighting, you were super slow, so you may not have hit her very hard. But still, felt terrible. So I was in the hospital for a month, ICU for probably 2 weeks, week and a half of that. And if I can give a recommendation about ICU, don't do it. It's ICU. They have this thing called ICU delirium. A friend of mine went in. He's a doctor, and while he was in the ICU, he disassembled his IV pump, and the world's out to get him. And he's trying to give orders to the nurses. And
really,
he's a doctor.
It's a thing.
Oh yeah, and I'm in there and can't sleep. Pumps are going, things are beeping and ringing, and you're on drugs that I don't even like. If I get an ache or a pain, or like I broke my ankle the summer I met my wife. Yeah. Ibuprofen and maybe a beer.
Yeah, so that'll get you.
They had me on oxy and steroids and a bunch of other stuff. Man. And then the feeding tube. I'm not the first patient to pull a feeding tube out, so I pulled the feeding tube out a couple times, and that was the day I fought Lieutenant Schweigert, my wife, and 1 or 2 nurses. And then that was also probably the same day that my stomach started bleeding. So I was vomiting blood or throwing up blood into the toilet. So there was a lot going on that day. So, sure. Yeah.
How many follow-up surgeries have you had since?
2. So there was one on December 12th. They took out 12 pellets. I remember that because it was 12, 12, 12. And then there was one in February or March where because my left vocal cord is paralyzed. So when I was talking for that whole time, I sounded like Gunny Highway from Heartbreak Ridge, just and I'm much more nimble with my voice now. But what they do is they cut your throat and they put an implant in, and then they have you talk, and they depends on where they put that implant affects what your speech is like. And that surgery. I wrote a book and I described that surgery. So you have to be awake because you're speaking during the surgery. So they taco wrap you so you can't move your hands. Like it's a full body taco wrap. And then they do local anesthetic and then they cover your eyes, probably because it's unnerving to look at people in their face when they're cutting their throat.
Sure.
And then they cut my throat. And as they're cutting my throat, I'm like, the local anesthetic's not working. So I know what it's like I know what it feels like to have somebody cut my throat now.
Wow.
I don't like tight spaces anymore.
So don't complain about getting an MRI then.
I can't get an MRI anymore because I have 2 pellets in my brain.
I know, but laying in that tube where you like laying there still for
do it.
37 minutes.
Yeah.
God.
Not for me.
Wow.
So, yeah. And then while I was in the hospital, I had to relearn to eat. So they had me on, like I couldn't even drink water. I had to relearn to drink water, relearn to eat, relearn to talk, relearn to tie my shoes, relearn to walk.
Jeez.
So I was a bit of a mess. So they had been, I was in the hospitals for a month total, got out on September 11th, or September 10th. And then, but I'd been in, so I was initially at OHSU. They took me to Good Sam, where I was at their rehab clinic, Oregon Rehabilitation Institute of Oregon, Rehabilitation Institute of Oregon. So, yeah, and that's where I relearned walking and all the other fun stuff.
Man.
So,
well, I know you had like outpouring of support from people from work,
all over.
Yeah.
I got one card I remember was from Gallon, Florida. It's like, and then my wife is a missionary kid, so her family, her sister had come over from. Her sister works overseas and had been, I think, Cambodia at the time. So on her flight back, they'd come over to help support me when I got out of the hospital, support Joy. And on their way back through Taiwan, on their way back to Cambodia, they ran into some people. And they're like, oh, yeah, we've heard about Jeremy. We've been praying for him. Like, people all over the world. I know somebody hit up some people, like some Christians that they knew in Africa. And they're like, hey, this local officer's been hit and hurt really bad, and we'd appreciate your prayers. And they're like, oh, yeah, we've already heard about him. We're praying for him.
Yeah.
Just it's humbling to know that literally people from around the world have you on their hearts and are lifting you up in prayer.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and Joy and your family and just the support. I mean, what she has to go through and everybody's got to go through, you have the incident, right? And then there's just this mass amount of care and time. And
let me take some time to talk about Joy.
Do it.
She's I'm not trying to throw shade on your wife. No. I have the best wife in the world.
I bet you do. So
to begin, my wife was probably the last person. You probably knew about the shooting before my wife did. We were in the process of building a house. We'd lived on the property for 12 to 14 years. Tore the house down, had just poured the foundation, but that means no Wi-Fi, no cell phone. We're in a place in Scappoose where there was no cell phone reception. You had to go out to the main road to get cell phone.
Well, I remember you're talking about your remodel for a long time.
Oh, I was putting lipstick on that pig for years. It was that original house was built in the 1920s by a drunk left-handed inbreed who had no business even looking at a hammer. So we finally tore that house down, and we're in the process of building, but we're living in a trailer. So my parents drove over and said, hey, there's been a shooting in Washington County, and we're pretty sure that Jeremy's involved. My parents were right. But Joy's like, that's probably not true. So she tells the kids, hey, I'll be right back. Sit with Mom, Gigi and Papa. And she goes out to the road and calls Jason Yaslino. It's like, hey, and she knew she couldn't call any TVT people because we're all tied up on the call. So she calls Jason Yaslino, who's not on TNT, but he's a good friend of mine. And it's like, hey, heard there's a shooting and Jeremy might be involved. And Jason's like, This is not how you're supposed to find out. And that was Joy's notification. So Columbia County sent a body and took her up to OHSU. And when she got there was just a sea of uniforms. And they're all looking at her, kind of, she's going to set the mood. Is she going to do well or is she not? Yeah. And she stepped out. She'd been praying the whole way up there. And she stepped out. It was just this image of strength and calmness, and walked. Like the crowd divided, and she just brought peace with her. And went in the hospital and saw me and prayed for me, and they took me off to surgery, and she went into the room and cried for a little bit, and then came out, and there's just 150 to 200 people there trying to support the family and support the agency. So, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yep. And the hospital, like she describes, and I know what it was like to be in the hospital. I would have put a pillow over my face, and I don't know how she did it. Yeah. Just the amount of strength and like the wisdom that she had was amazing. So pick your wife well if you're going to get into law enforcement. Yep. So
100%. Jeez.
Yeah. It was like, I think that's the worst call that you never hope your wife gets. Yeah. And that's the worst call that your wife hopes that she never gets. And she did. Awesome. So.
Well, faith's a huge thing.
Yeah, it is.
And, you guys just having a relationship that preps yourself for that, right? Or maybe, your worst day, but the daily, right? Yeah. Making sure you guys are right daily.
Yeah. Well, it's not going to happen in a moment. You have to be keeping it clean the whole time. Yep. You can't decide, hey, today's the day I'm going to get hurt. I'm going to get physically fit. No, you better be physically fit the whole time. Yeah. Hey, today's the day I'm going to get hurt. I'm going to make sure my family's okay. Yep. That's too late, dude. You better be making sure your family's good the whole time. Right. So, yeah.
Have you told your story publicly? Have you been invited to tell your story publicly anywhere? I know there's a lot of debriefs. A lot of teams have done your debriefs on your call, but have you spoke publicly about it or been invited to or anything like that? Just out of curiosity.
I have. The town. So I retired in 2021 and moved my family to Texas. The pellets in my brain are giving me problems. So we moved to Texas. There's a story behind that, but the church that we're plugged into down there, awesome church, and it's associated with a nearby Baptist University. So they have a criminal justice program, and I've done a presentation to the criminal justice program, a presentation to the psychology program, and then my daughter's going to school up in Abilene, and it's another private university, Baptist University, and the criminal justice program up there has invited me. Right down the street, an hour away is Tarleton, which is a D1 school.
Yeah. I didn't know who they were, but I saw them play somebody not that long ago.
Yeah, they played
like 2 weeks ago.
Portland State, and just beat the piss out of them.
It wasn't even Portland State. It was somebody bigger than that.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I'll text you when I remember.
Yeah. I think they played Portland State this year too.
Huh.
Yeah.
Cool.
So. Sorry,
Fly likes you.
Yeah.
And I don't want to like move off of your story, but I really want to talk to you about your book because your book's a huge thing. Yeah. So is there anything that you want to talk about other than I missed or that you feel, pertinent to, maybe any advice out there for folks that are.
The book has some advice.
Okay.
So in the book, I tell the story, more detail. Joy tells her story, more detail. And then towards the end is like lessons learned. And the lessons learned include faith, family, finances, friendship. Like those are things that you need to have in place. And if nothing happens, you've lived a more full life. But if something happens, those things need to be prepared. So when things go high order, you have family that you can fall back on. Yeah. Your wife isn't upside down before you even start this journey. Right. Your kids, my kids just got kicked in the gut on this one. And then we moved them to Texas. So having good, strong, intelligent, resilient kids, which only happens in a healthy family. So
correct.
Family. our friends, people that Joy was friendly with, but not that friendly, were digging through her underwear drawer to find her underwear and bra to bring down to the, like, I know as a guy, I don't even go through my wife's underwear drawer. Right. So to have this other third party dig through your drawer to bring clothes down.
Well, I think it just comes down to like, it's trust.
Yeah.
And my buddy Chad talks about this a lot, transactional relationships with people. And, you know, transactionally, I want to have friends that transactionally give me something and I can offer them something. And that, you know, and I think that in that situation where like it doesn't matter who's rifling through your drawer, right?
Yeah.
But you trust because they give you that, you just kind of like, I don't really care at this time.
Yeah.
But they're gonna do this for me, and that's what I need right now.
Yeah.
And they'll be there.
Yeah. And so my younger two kids, I have three kids. My younger two kids, I was shot on August 8th. One of them's birthday's on the August 13th, and the other one's on August 21st. So we had two birthdays in the hospital. I couldn't even leave the room. The first one was my daughter's. Mm-hmm. And TNT and SWAT community lined up in the hallway, and each of them handed her a flower as she walked down the hallway. And I watched the video of that later. I'm just like, I couldn't be there. And even when I wasn't there, couldn't be there, they stood in my place and did the thing better than I would have done. So that was huge. So
that's brotherhood.
Yeah. To go back to that is the brotherhood that is the SWAT community.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Let's talk about your book.
Okay.
What's the name of your book?
Ambushed: A Journey of Healing. And I picked that title because ambush is what kicks off this whole story. Mm-hmm. But really, that's not the focus of my life. That's the focus of my life since the ambush has been a journey of healing. And not just healing physically, but healing emotionally, healing spiritually, and then coming to a place of forgiveness for the guy that shot me. So, who hopefully will spend the rest of his life in prison, where it's easier to forgive. So,
how how long did it take you to kind of think, I want to write a book about this?
Oh, in the course of my career, I've probably written 1 million pages of reports. Mm-hmm. Like my narratives, if you start stacking narratives and face pages, and it's probably close to 1 million pages. And I've always enjoyed writing.
Well, you did make that amazing
pocket reference guide.
Dude, I still show people that today, and mine's outdated, but you got to come up with something like this.
Yeah. So I've always enjoyed writing. And then Joy was, when I was in the hospital, she was communicating with this person and that person and that person and that person. And the nurse was like, stop, just do this Caring Bridge thing. Just do one update and let whoever needs access to it follow the updates through this one Caring Bridge website. And she started doing that. And then while I was in the hospital, she would start reading that to me. And then she would start reading the notes, because you're allowed to, the participants are allowed to respond and leave notes back. Mm-hmm. And then as I got better, I ended up taking over, like doing the updates. And then, my fingers don't work right, but I'd lay in bed at 3:00 in the morning, not able to sleep, and do an update. Mm-hmm. And then eventually it reached the point, and like I said before, I've been involved in training for all of my career.
Yep.
So, like this information, this experience is invaluable. And to have this information and not share it would be dumb and reckless and selfish. So let's not do that. So let's get that information out there. And the logical explanation or extension of that is the book. And for me, the logical start of that is Caring Bridge. So we took the Caring Bridge entries, and then there's a lot of stuff that Joy wouldn't tell people. Just in the idea of, hey, if he's going to go back to work, let's not describe him fighting this nurse and punching her.
Sure.
So kind of protect my reputation, so that when I went back to work, and I did, these people weren't looking at me like some lame duck. They're looking at me as the stud that I wanted them to think of me as. Mm-hmm. So we took that, and after each entry, we started telling more backstory. So the entries are still there, but then there's more fleshed out. of what was going on behind the scenes. So all of the information that she initially provided was true and accurate, but there's other information that she was holding back. So
what are some of the messages in your book that you want people to really read and take and maybe to apply their life?
There's a lot.
Yeah.
I think the most important thing is faith. I don't know how people do law enforcement. I'm probably a weak-minded individual. I don't know how people do law enforcement without faith, some sort of faith. Because at the end of the day, when you go to all of those calls, they have to go somewhere. Like in your mind and in your soul, you have to put them in a box, figure out why they happened to that person, why they happened to you. There has to be a higher power that you can just turn all the sorrow over. And to go back to the ICU, I'm a Christian, and when I was in the ICU, again, the darkest experience I've ever had. You ever seen Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
Lots of people I've talked to that haven't.
Yeah.
You know when Sam and Frodo are trying to sneak into the back gate of Mordor?
Yeah.
That's what the Valley of Death in my mind has always looked like. It's just this wide, desolate plain, like a moonscape. Yeah. No trees, just death. Armies could march through it side by side by side and not touch each other. Just this desolate. That's always what I pictured the Valley of the Shadow of Death is. And my experience in the ICU was the Valley of Shadow of Death is tight and it's narrow, and you go through it alone. And even if you and I were to die right now or start dying right now, sitting this close, we would still have to go through it alone. Like you might be dying side by side, but you're going through that valley alone. And I realized then that my God is big enough to get me through that valley, but small enough to go with me. Because that valley of the shadow of death is tight, it's narrow, it's a terrible place to be.
So just saying that, and I was thinking about that process, and I'm picturing all these things in that movie because there's a lot of references to that too when they're up on that one ledge that one night before they go to a battle, and I think Aragon takes off up that tight little in the horses, and it's a single horse track. But how do you? What's the experience of being to that point that you saw and you see, and then being sitting here today? Like when you're in the ICU seeing that, how do you attribute to being where you're at today versus where you were there, you saw it, or experiencing that in the ICU? How?
Different movie. You ever seen Ice Age?
Yeah. I got all your references here.
When Skrit is jumping through the heaven and he's picking up all the golden acorns.
Yeah.
And he finds a big one. He's like, drops all the acorns and finds the big one. And then he's brought back to CPR by this ugly, like sloth.
Yes.
And that was my experience. I'm like, you brought me back to these riots in Portland. George Floyd happened after that. I'm like, I was standing at the gates of heaven and you brought me back to this dump. I was so upset. And my mom passed away recently, and there's a part of me that's still upset that she beat me to heaven. But these last years have been amazing. I've been able to be a husband to my wife and not have to worry about work. I've been able to watch my kids grow up. I went to all of my son's football games except for a couple when I was out of town, but I didn't miss them for work.
What's that feel like? Because you can say it, but everybody wants to feel it.
It feels weird because as a man, I've always valued work. And work is not my identity, but that's where I got a lot of my source of validation. And suddenly that's gone. And you feel there's a part of you, a small part, but there's still a small part of you that's like, I'm not the man that I was. That could be a good or bad thing, but I'm not the man that I was. I don't have the same capabilities. Now I have deficiencies.
But you've grown in other places that.
Yeah. Well, when I first got out of the hospital, before this podcast, I told you, like, hey, I'm here early, but I'm just going to take a nap in the parking lot.
Yep.
I take naps all the time now.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got out of the hospital, I didn't realize that. So my oldest son, Jacob, who's stud, he's 13. His hero is suddenly vulnerable and, he's mortal. He can be hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And he's 13, coming of age,
Yeah.
and he's starting to push my buttons, and I would just pop. And like the response, it would be normal to respond to a lot of these things that were happening, but not to the level that I was responding. I was just coming unglued over simple things. And the response again was like, the response might require 1 or 2. And I was going to 5 or 8 or 9, just belittling him. And I realized, I think I'm tired. And that's kind of the catalyst that my wife now will look at me and she's like, you need a nap. She can just tell by looking at my face that she's like,
when they do that.
But there's something that's going on in my face that she's like, you need a nap, don't you? I'm like, oh yeah, I do.
Yeah.
And I'm gone for 20 minutes and I pop back up. I'm like, okay, I'm good. I'm usually good for 4, 5, 6, 8 hours, but I need that 20-minute nap. And so that it's just been a journey. So post-hospital to now, just wrestling with life and wrestling with responsibility and like purpose. Like, and when you're in law enforcement, there's purpose. I'm going to be a husband to my wife, be a father to my kids, and then I'm going to go to work and kick ass and take names and do the Lord's work. And now that portion, which is where you got your money from, fed your family with, and kept the roof over their head, that's gone. And, remember, I wanted to be a police officer since I was 17, and now that's been taken from me.
Yeah.
So there's just wrestling with that. And the book has, helped me, a selfish part of me wrote the book just so that I could kind of put the events on paper and understand this is the event as I understand it. And this is the event that my wife understands it. And then part of the book is, the purpose of the book is that my kids can read it. My daughter's read it, and it took her a long time to work through it. She had to process a lot.
Yeah.
And then a part of me wants to share it for the other people. So my goal is not to become a bestseller or hit the New York Times list, but I just want this information out there.
Yeah.
And if people find meaning in the story or can shape their lives or order their lives different, then there's meaning to this suffering that me and my family have done. It didn't happen in a silo. It means something to other people. So I think it's mostly selfish reasons that I wrote the book.
What's your favorite part that Joy wrote in it? Anything that just stands out to you?
There's nothing that stands out, but like her early entries, she did most of the early entries. Her describing what she's experienced, and then a little bit later on, she describes what her daily activity was, and she, the kids are going to school, and she's going back home, and getting the kids off to school, getting the kids off to events, and she did everything alone. And suddenly your husband's in the hospital in Portland. We're living in Scappoose. It's a half hour, 45-minute commute, and she's running back and forth and back and forth.
Yeah.
Shuttling kids and shepherding kids.
Because life doesn't stop.
No. And you better, again, have all of those things in order, because if your faith, family, finances, friendships, if those things aren't in order, you're going to drop a grenade in your life, and those things better be more resilient than you think.
Well, I tell Katie sometimes, I just think that, I don't know, what district were you working at? Were you working a low when this happened?
I was a corporal, so I was
we were
footloose, fancy free. I was in Aloha.
But if you weren't, or whoever was there, but it's crazy because that spot got filled the next day.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think that's hard to think, like, that's just a giant machine sometimes too, right? And
the machine can't love you.
No.
So don't love the machine.
No.
So I mean, I just got back from a conference called the Wounded Blue Conference, And one of the takeaways is, the people in the organization, they might love you, but the organization can't love you. Mm-hmm. And the organization, like I retired in 2021. Mm-hmm. By the end of that summer, they already had a sergeant in my position, and they were off to the races. And it's like football. When you get taken out, the team keeps marching down the field, and you're standing on the sideline. And the play will get done without you. Yep. I'm no Michael Jordan, and even if you were, the Bulls still have to win. They still have to play. So you sitting on the sideline and
hoping Steve Kerr drains a three, or Scottie Pippen steps up.
So So it's humbling to realize that you can have that big an impact on people and that little impact on an organization. Mm-hmm. So,
because I think the idea is you want to think that you're making that kind of impact.
Yeah.
But again, you're right. It's the people that make it worthwhile.
Yeah.
Those people standing in for your kids' birthdays.
Yeah.
While you're in there, and
at the end of it, it's not even those people. At the end of it, it is your kids and your wife.
Yep.
Because when we moved to Texas, I still keep in contact with lots of people back in Oregon, but they're not with me at night when I'm sitting to the stars and looking at the Texas sky.
Yeah.
It's my kids. It's my wife. It's my God.
Yeah.
That's when it comes down to it.
Yep.
Who's going to be there at the end? None of those guys.
Right.
And they all love me. But none of those guys. They have to keep marching the ball down the field. And
they got their own tribe to manage. Yep.
So.
And that's what you'd expect of them too, as well. Right. I mean, that's what we kind of, we'll be there for each other, but we'll all have responsible for our own.
Yeah. And early on, remember I did a ride along with Washington County.
Yeah.
And the guy that I rode along with eventually got jammed up, and he was wished well in his future endeavors. And
I love those emails. I don't think they send that one anymore, but
we all knew what it meant.
I know. I thought somebody said, finally, can we stop saying that in the email? I don't remember what sheriff came along, but.
So he went off the side, and my mom was friendly with him, and she's like, you should reach out to him. I'm like, that's not the way this works. Like, you're out of the pack of wildebeests, and wildebeests have to kind of reform their ring and protect themselves from the lions and move down range.
Yeah.
So I knew early on that that's the way, like, out of health for the herd, you have to close ranks and move on.
Yeah.
Regardless of why that wildebeest left, that pack member's gone. There's a gap. We need to close the gap and keep moving down range.
Yeah.
So, like, that understanding was early on, but it's easy to lose track of that in the course of 18 years. And this traumatic event, I love these people. Yes, but they're part of an organization. The organization is a machine.
Yeah.
So, and you get wrapped up in this detail and you forget. Yeah.
Yeah.
These people love me. The machine can't. So,
is there anything I'm missing in your book that you want to hit on?
No. Get the book.
Yeah.
Read the book. And there's an email in the back. So if you have questions or comments or.
Yeah. And I think we'll put the link to the book in the comments or somehow on this. So.
And you can get it through Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah. Ambushed. And Joy's the primary author. So Ambushed, A Journey of Healing. So if you go into Amazon and just Ambush Joy Braun, it'll pop up.
Yeah.
So.
So just from where you're at today, how are you doing?
People ask me that, and I start off with, I'm in pain all the time. So two of the pellets are in my brain. One's in the cerebellum, which is your balance center, and one's in my thalamus. And the cerebellum means that I don't drink when I'm away from home because I cannot pass the sobriety tests even when I'm sober. So let's not smell like alcohol before we.
So you wouldn't be bad to put in a wet lab at DPSST for the day.
Terrible.
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't even have to drink. You could just, they'd be like, we don't know what's wrong with him.
We don't know what's wrong with it, but he's not passing. He's passing the horizontal gaze of nystagmus, but he's failing all the rest. So
you're a ringer for a DRE class.
Yeah. And then the other one in my thalamus is the one that's really got me going.
Yeah.
So if you look up online, thalamic pain syndrome, and you're like, oh, so these are this is what the effects of this thalamic pain syndrome looks like.
Yeah.
I'm like, I've got that one. I got that one. I got that one. So basically, like right now, my whole right arm feels like it's got menthol on it. And then from the wrist down, it feels like my hand has been with the menthol stuck in a freezer for 3 hours. So, and then raindrops hurt. So raindrops feel like a cold syringe being shoved in my skin every time a raindrop falls. So that was part of the move to Texas was I need somewhere that's warm that doesn't rain a lot.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah. So I'm in pain all the time. I've learned and then I've tried a variety of medications. One of them was like, oh, I think I might be able to go back to work. And it kind of tapered off and stopped working. And the other option is narcotics. And I refuse to take narcotics.
Yeah.
Alcohol. I was drinking too much alcohol for a while, but alcohol just allows me to be somewhere else while the pain happens.
Yeah.
So you just learn to lean into the pain, and as long as I'm getting my sleep at night, sometimes the pain keeps me from sleeping, but as long as I get my sleep at night, I do all right. But physically working out, trying to stay fit, try not to become a fat slob again, deal with the pain, try to work through things spiritually and emotionally. And
Yeah.
So,
well, I, number one, I can't thank you enough for coming on and doing this. This is,
you're my first podcast. Hopefully not my last.
Well, I think that hopefully you'll get out there and you can do some more. So,
all right.
But man, I love you, and I think that it's just awesome you're here and you took the time to come here. And I don't know, I think I'm blessed to know you.
Yeah, I'm just disappointed you weren't wearing a kilt.
Oh, that's funny. Do you know? Was it Bailey? Who was it? It was Gene Moss told me one time before I went to the road, he was trying to get me to go to the road. He's like, we'll let you wear a kilt on the road if you want. I was like, I'm not going to wear a kilt on the road, but yeah.
On a hot summer day, pull that kilt up.
Sweet. Yeah. And I still have my Washington County kilt. So I rock that as much as I can around here. So,
yeah.
But, dude, like I said, what a blessing to have you alive and sitting here today and getting your story out. Cause I think I don't know, you're just awesome. You're an awesome man.
I wouldn't go that far, but
you're an awesome man, and there's nothing wrong with being that.
Thank you.
So,
thanks for having me.
No, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah.